What is good, YouTube? It's your boy Pateks, aka Peace, aka Cal, aka Cal X, aka I don't know which channel is going off. But today we're reacting to Linda. PS1 will make you question everything. And I ain't gonna lie, I heard like 13 seconds of this shit before I clicked on it. This shit was crazy. I'm here with my daughter as well, Lolise. Say hello to the people, Lolise. She a little shy. Don't mind her.
The Lost World.
My exam results out. Come and see my report card with me. Alright, hold on. I gotta see a report card real quick. Let me see that report card. Learning. Okay. Your report card don't look like shit. Calligraphy. You know what? Start studying, because your grades is bad, most likely. You don't have enough level to bro, what? Nah, bitch, just research then. I don't know. What? Okay, I can't even make the bitch study. Okay, well, copywriting. That's the same thing as normal writing. Go ahead. Just she working on the copyright claim for this video I'm about to get. Or that I'm about to get on this video. Don't mind her. She working hard. Say it look cool though.
Masuda, the director and scenario writer of Linda Cubed, describes in an interview how witnessing the birth of his first child gave him a newfound respect for life and the tremendous effort it is for women to bring children into the world.
Okay.
Masuda had been fascinated by Japan's increasing normalization of physical and sexual violence in traditional media such as films, cartoons, and video games. In one interview, Masuda describes that video games were interesting to him because they could force players to make decisions. Quote, "Games are the complete opposite of novels, and I feel like they're a medium that just keeps asking, what kind of person are you?" The game was first released in Japan in 1995 for the PC Engine platform. Its 1997 re-release was in fact a full-on remake called Linda Cubed Again, with new graphics and fully animated cutscenes instead of the original semi-static cutscenes. However, its graphic violence was toned down and censored. The original 1995 version was one of the only 18 rated games on that platform, though the plot of the remake was largely the same. Linda Cubed is constantly forcing the player into uncomfortable situations. Like life itself, the game can be strangely beautiful, quietly unsettling, and uncomfortably intense. Its game design is structured around cycles, birth and death, the changing seasons, changing weather, leaving home and returning home, but also the cycle of human actions and consequences. Seasons pass in semi-real time, and the player has until the end of a fixed number of years to collect enough species, both male and female, to be stored into an ark and piloted into space by the protagonist, which must be done before an enormous meteoroid collides into the planet of Neo Kenya.
Shit, is this not anime? Hold up, bro. I'm not gonna lie, I gotta search up to see if this shit's anime. Give me a second. Oh, shit. Don't unpause, nigga. Bro. Why is this shit like tangled on it? Just It's got an enemy though. It's called Linda, right? The fuck? Why the fuck is my caps lock on? It's called Linda. I'm gonna just type in Lynn. I don't see it, bro. Damn. So is it just a game? That's interesting. I need you to move. Like, I'm glad you're up here working hard, mind your own business, but I need you to move so I can. There you go. Hold up. Nah, go back up there. Go back up there.
Upon booting up the game, the player is shown a stylish animated sequence depicting the arrival of the Ark and the materialization of a stone tablet inscribed and signed by God, which details the player's mission of filling it with a diversity of species. From here, the player is able to choose
like
between
Noah's
3
Ark.
different scenarios. Each scenario provides the player with the same gameplay objective
How the
of
fuck
filling
is
up
my
the
mouse
Ark, but with a
drifting
higher
across
number
the
of
screen? It's a
species
mouse.
each time. What changes is the story events. The scenarios are like parallel timelines in which the characters act differently or make different decisions than in other timelines. And though the game, as you play it, is essentially the same, the narrative in each scenario can be wildly different. For this video, I'll thoroughly explore scenario
I really
A
fuck
and
with this
briefly
art
look
style.
at scenario B and C, but let's get into some of the gameplay mechanics before doing so. Linda Cubed is basically an open world game from the moment you're allowed to leave the starting town. Nearly every portion of the world map, every cave, and every city is accessible if you're willing to walk there or able to afford fast traveling. You have immediate access to the game's fast travel mechanic, though it's expensive. At the entrance of every town, a travel service allows players to fly to any town for a rather large fee, though they can save money by flying indirect instead, or simply walking there for free. For now, however, we're stuck in the game's starting town until talking to a few important locals. After waking up at home, the protagonist can
Talking about, like, aren't you supposed to be working? What the fuck are you doing crawling across the top of my screen? Bitch, go back to work. Damn.
Ken volunteers to be the pilot of the Astro Ark and to catch the number of species, male and female, required by God to fill it. Outside of town is the Astro Ark itself, to which the player must frequently return to deposit captured animals, which are contained in small pods. On the world map, the Animal Bible can be used to identify a creature by name, type, and level. There are no random battles in Linda Cubed. Animals with
So is Linda Cube like Noah's Ark, but like all the normal animals are like mutated in monsters, but it's still like, okay, that's kind of fire.
a much higher level than Ken ought to be avoided, especially
like
if the player
Pokemon
has
too, from
recently
what I'm
captured
seeing.
animals. Because if Ken faints in battle, the animals not yet deposited into the Astro Ark will get released, and Ken wakes up in the doctor's office. For most of the game, before Linda joins the party, Ken is able to purchase and train dogs that fight alongside him. The first dog, Iwa, is obtainable immediately after leaving Ken's house for the first time if the player speaks to a little girl standing at the gate of the yard, who informs us that she's planning to move and needs someone to adopt Iwa for her. Iwa joins the party, making a party total of 2. But if the player wants additional help, more dogs can be bought later at the dog shop for a high price. Though Ken revives in town if he faints in battle, the dogs don't. If their health reaches 0, they must be brought to the vet, who heals the dogs for a large fee. If the dog's level is too low, they can also be trained at certain vets, which raises their
They get a lot of depth in this game, and I'm liking that a lot.
level through an uncomfortable process of repeated disciplinary beatings. The first time I tried doing this, it failed, and the vet asked me if I wanted to continue the beatings.
Why
And
they
when I
whooping the
answered
dog
yes,
ass,
the
though?
beatings commenced until finally succeeding and raising my dog's level by 3. There's a very useful map function that shows Ken's location and the position of towns and caves, all of which seem to be reachable from the start, though different scenarios open up different particular areas. For now, it's best to stick to the starting area because the animals elsewhere are going to be a really high level. Once seeing an animal, use the animal Bible to determine if it's been captured before and if its level is appropriate before initiating combat by walking into it.
That is not no dolphin.
At first, the battle screen appears conventional enough,
Maybe it
but
is
there
dolphin,
are many
never mind,
unique
but why does it
mechanics
have
to the
feet?
combat system of Linda Cubed. The first thing worth noting is that the combat takes place on all sides. The 4-point directional on the bottom right of the screen shows which direction the player is facing, and the shining white dots show where the animals are standing in relation to our position.
Yo, that's
in the
actually
center.
fire.
Animals
I really
can
like
move
this
around to
mechanic.
the other side during battle and surround the player, preventing escape if all 4 sides are covered. During battle, the player has control only over Ken, and the dogs act autonomously, so if Ken runs away, the battles continue until the dogs are able to flee also, though if they get scared, they might flee before Ken does, which is usually a good thing because then you don't have to go back to the vet and revive them. One time, I got stuck in combat because Ken had run away, but the dogs got surrounded, forcing me simply to watch as an army of fleas endlessly replicated
That is
themselves
not no
and encircled
fucking
my
flea.
dogs. The other interesting
Why is that shit
aspect
so
of this
big,
system
bro?
is that the
Pause.
terrain is realistically depicted on each directional square. If you're standing on grass and initiate combat with an animal in the water, the directionals will show your center position as being on grass and the animals ahead of you as in the water, and the aquatic animals in the water have a speed advantage over you, though if you manage to get them to come out onto the grass, the advantage is yours. As the player turns, the character models will turn as well, reflecting each party member's present orientation. The effect can be disorienting, causing the combat to turn rapidly on a 360-degree axis. During combat, animals do not simply receive and inflict
You got a
damage
fucking
until the end of battle, but
monster
have
Bible,
special
aka
behavioral
Pokédex,
characteristics
nigga,
that
like-
distinguish them from other animals and
I
even
ain't
from
gonna
the
lie, I
other
play this
gender
though.
of their own
I
species.
like RPG games. I
Sometimes
just never really
females are
played them like
smaller
that.
and more vulnerable. Other times, females are aggressive brutes. Rabbits leap over your head to land behind you. Fleas relentlessly copy themselves and fill the screen. To capture them, Ken and his dogs can inflict normal or special attacks, reducing their HP, and once it reaches 0 or close to 0, the animals will stop resisting and voluntarily go along with you inside of a transportation device. However, if Ken is overpowered, inflicting too much damage will cause the animal simply to erupt into a pile of bloody guts, for which I'm very grateful no animation exists. In the menu, the player is able to see what animals they have in their possession, and the color of the animal's name indicates whether it's been captured and filed, or only captured. This room contains a sort of biological cataloging machine, where the captured and unfiled animals can be filed and deposited into their own individual containment pods. If a male animal is filed, Ken's stats increase, and if a female animal is filed, Linda's stats increase. Sometimes filing an animal causes Ken or Linda to develop a special ability called Morph that allows them to transform
Oh,
for the
hell
rest of the
nah.
battle into a human-animal hybrid,
Nigga.
giving them different abilities and altered stats.
This whole thing looks backwards, bro. Am I tripping? Like, this looks like this is where the legs should be. Matter of fact, this shit ain't even got no neck. It's literally just a big ass head on a. What is this called? They better not say this is no zebra or horse, bro, because it's far from it. It looks like a depressed, bald, fucking skinwalker, my nigga.
After battle, if your dogs are still in good shape but you want to heal up, Ken eventually learns the tech ability to set up camp outside of town. Everyone in the party can rest simultaneously, or somebody can be put on watch to check for animals during the night. Very rarely, if everyone is resting and no one is watching, the party can be ambushed, and only Ken will be awake to fight. Ken can order everyone to rest while he goes about doing other tech activities like carving meat or crafting materials.
Why is he picking up shit?
Linda Cubed is full of the unexpected, both in terms of narrative and game design. Ken, the hero, is not heroic, and the destruction of the planet is unpreventable. The player is simply assigned a task, dropped into the world, and then called to various towns via the voicemail feature so that Ken can bear witness to unfolding story events. In towns, if the player uses any telephone, Ken is able to save the game, consult a fortune teller, hear weather forecasts, check his bank account, or listen to voicemail messages, the last of which are the primary narrative device controlling story progression. You can basically go anywhere you please, whenever you please, but sometimes a new voicemail alert arrives, and if you listen to the voice message in town, a character will inform you that something is happening in such and such a place, and they need you to go there immediately. As for the towns themselves, there are a wide variety of shops, some of which provide disturbing services. The vet's office can sell, train, and heal dogs. The butcher shop can carve up animals you don't need to file and turn them into consumable healing products. The equipment shop sells animal-based weapons and gear. In most of these places, the player also has the option to either purchase the product ready-made or to make it themselves if they have the necessary animals on hand. The most disturbing of town services is the Ripper, a seemingly psychotic individual to whom players can hand over their captured animals to be tortured by dismemberment in exchange for having their stomachs first ripped open for treasure, and we get to keep whatever's inside at the cost of handing over the animal to the psychopath. I found that the Ripper was one of the best ways to make easy cash because of the occasional pieces of gold that he finds, which can be sold for tens of thousands of dollars. Another service in town is that of the bank, where you get a regular salary from the Ranger HQ. Every once in a while, if you drop in and check your balance, you can withdraw money, which I kept forgetting to do and felt extremely poor most of the time. But it's not really easy to get rich in this game, and when my first dog, Iwa, needed treatment at the vet, I couldn't afford the $300 service fee, and I had to take out a loan in order to cover it. The towns in Linda Cubed are numerous and diverse. Each one feels distinct, with a unique arrangement of buildings, architectural styles, and a few activities, like the dogfighting arena, where Ken and his dogs can fight against the canine companions of other rangers. Most of the town services do become obsolete as Ken learns more tech skills, crafting items, carving meat, and setting up camp, but this is important because if you play close enough to the impact of the meteoroid, the towns will gradually depopulate as people flee the planet, turning these locations into near ghost towns. But enough of the gameplay. Let's dig into the story. As the game boots up, the player is able to select between three scenarios, A, B, and C. For this video, we'll be looking at scenario A, called Merry Xmas. As the story begins, Ken is eating breakfast at home, after which he informs his mother that he plans to volunteer to pilot the Astro Arc. From here we can explore the house, and it seems that Ken and his mother share a bedroom, and the basement's been renovated into an office space. Outside, we can get our first dog from the little girl whose family is moving away, and then we head over to the Ranger HQ, where a meeting is about to take place. First, however, we can check out the captain's bedroom. As we head into the meeting room, the captain begins the presentation about the incoming meteoroid.
さてと、遅刻の王様もご到着のようだから、学者先生の予想では、地上の生命を完全に消し去り、俺の誕生日の翌日だったからちょうど1ヶ月前だ。
Ken volunteers to be the pilot before going downstairs to be introduced to the female co-pilot and the game's...
Not gonna lie, YouTube and Twitch, this is gonna have to be a two-part series because I'm actually about to pass out. I love y'all niggas though. I will see y'all tomorrow. It's gonna be a couple seconds for y'all though, YouTube. Oh shit.
The basement's been...
Hi YouTube, this day 2 of me reacting to this. I ain't gonna hold you.
Renovated into an office space. Outside, we can get our first dog from the little girl whose family is moving away, and then we head over to the Ranger HQ, where a meeting is about to take place. First, however, we can check out the captain's bedroom. As we head into the meeting room, the captain begins the presentation about the incoming meteoroid.
さてと、遅刻の王様もご到着のようだから、学者先生の予想では地上の生命を完全に消し去り、俺の誕生日の翌日だったからちょうど1ヶ月前だ。
Ken volunteers to be the pilot before going downstairs to be introduced to the female co-pilot and the game's eponymous heroine, Linda.
スキャリもうこのくらい避けられないの？相変わらずとろいわね。せめて3レベルは欲しいわね。可愛いリンダさんのためなら3レベルくらい楽勝でしょ？
She tells us that we really ought to be level 3 by now and challenges us to start grinding right away.
わかったわね。3レベルよ。ケン、志願してくれてありがとう。
Linda's mom, Anne, is also there, apologizes for Linda being a handful, and thanks us for agreeing to be her co-pilot.
ごめんなさいね、ケンちゃん。
On our way out of town, a young man with a haircut like Ken's is dressed in a Santa suit and greets us on behalf of Linda, who sent us a Santagram.
Merry Christmas, Ken!
We should visit her in Minago, her hometown. Outside, the Astro Ark is parked on the ground in front of the town of Hardia. On board are rows of storage rooms full of containment chambers for the species that are to be caught later. In one room, we can register as the male pilot, and in another room is a biological machine which categorizes the animals we capture. That being done, we can really get down to business and start capturing animals. And we head straight back to the Astro Ark to see how things work. Soon, after running around and capturing animals for a bit, we head over to Linda in Minago, who's waiting for us in her bedroom. Linda notices we haven't reached level 3 and encourages us to get stronger by punching us in the face and saying to come back later. If we look around her room, we can find a photograph on the wall showing a younger Ken and Linda. Linda's being held by her father, Hume, and her mother, Anne, is standing by. Downstairs, Linda's mother, Anne, begs us to take care of Linda, and then we spend time exploring Minago, checking out the large religious building in town with the bell on the top floor. Strangely enough, the town is full of Santa Claus imposters who appear to be collecting money for charity. There's also a very useful animal search service that we can use to look up the location of animals that we may not be sure how to find. This being done, we continue looking for and hunting animals, depositing them into the Astro Ark as needed. The player is free to go pretty much anywhere in the world at this point, so long as they're able to survive or afford the trip. Eventually, we get an alert that a new voice message is available just before running into a high-leveled wild dog, who wipes out Iwa and then Ken. There's no game over, but the vet will only revive Iwa for $300, which is too expensive, so for now we take out a loan and revive Iwa. Only then do we get around to checking our voicemail and discover that Captain McDonald needs us in hospital immediately because something's happened to Linda and she's in the hospital. We find out from the doctor that Linda appears to have been attacked and now she has amnesia. Her mother and everyone from Minago are completely missing, and Linda can't remember who did it or that she ever volunteered to pilot the Astro Ark.
あなたはどなたですか?
The doctor says to come see her occasionally because it may restore her memory, but for now we just get back to collecting animals. The season changes for the first time from summer to autumn, and we make our way farther west, discovering more areas of the map. We also buy a second dog and name him Chichi, then bring him in for some brutal dog training to get his level up to par with Iwa's. Around this time, a new voice message sends us in the direction of Eternia, where it's Christmas every day and a beautiful woman named Elizabeth Green lives in an enormous mansion. Elizabeth runs a soup kitchen out of the first floor of her house, where men and women are always welcome to have a free meal, but the soup kitchens are separated by gender. The mansion is also full of locked rooms, and from what we can see, a very creepy looking basement area. The reason for Elizabeth's wealth is that she's the president of a pharmaceutical company and claims to be able to create a medicine that will cure Linda's amnesia. She just needs time and a few ingredients to get things ready.
困ったわね。もう製造してませんのよ。
Soon enough, we get a voicemail from Panheim, a doctor working for Elizabeth's pharmaceutical company. He needs goat meat to create Linda's amnesia medicine.
Thought that was Berlizzi for a second.
So we find and capture the goats, then process them into goat meat and deliver them to him in Eternia.
例の肉が手に入ったようだ
There
ね
you go, Berlin.
Time goes
the
by,
game.
we capture and deposit more animals into the Astro Ark, and finally the medicine is ready.
例の薬用意できたよ
When we return to Eternia, the strange Santa Claus resembling Ken greets us and speaks cryptically.
見つかったかいその様子じゃ
We head inside to get the medicine.
ハイム。あ
Getting head under the table, bro.
お勤めの続きは後にしましょう。出てきなさい。
Nah! Uncle Eater! Mr. Eat It and Leave! This nigga was under that long ass table going crazy. Can I blame him though? Not really. Shit, I might do the same thing if a bitch this badass me too. But damn, Uncle's really under the table eating cookie, bro.
お呼びですかエリザベス様
Oh, nah. We know what you've been
With
doing.
medicine in hand, we return to Hospico to give it to Linda, only to be told by an alarmed staff member that we've just been here moments earlier and already took Linda out of the hospital into the backyard, where there's a shed leading down into the basement, where extreme psychopathic patients are kept. And sure enough, there's Linda and Ken's long-lost twin brother, Nick.
102号室へようこそまた会えたね兄ちゃんさあ俺の顔をよく見てくれどうだい見覚えのある顔だろ誰も教えてくれなかったかいあんたには双子の弟がいたんだよ俺の名はネクついでに教えといてやるよこの冴えない死体が俺たちの実の親父だ見ろよほら血だらけで分かりにくいかもしんないけど口元なんて俺たちにそっくりだぜなあ早くしろこの部屋だへおっとそろそろ失礼するよ面倒は嫌いなんださてリンダちゃんにはとびっきり素敵なプレゼントだほらちゃんとお礼が言えまちゅか
ありがとうケン。
じゃあな兄ちゃん俺のパーティーは始まったばかりだまだまだ
Wait, so this nigga name is Neck, while his brother name is Ken. His name is literally Ken backwards. This nigga is literally the opposite of Ken. I want to play this game, I'm not gonna lie.
お楽しみはこれからだぜではお二人さんに祝福のあらんことをメリークリスマス
This scene reveals that Ken and Nick were orphans who got adopted by different parents, and that their real father was a murderer who caused their mother's death. Their father's been kept in this underground psychiatric hospital, and Nick is now getting revenge and framing Linda for the murder. Nick disappears along with Linda, and we end up in Ranger HQ with Captain McDonald. He buys the story, and before leaving town, we can visit Ken's mother, who explains that Ken was in fact adopted and that she hadn't known about his twin brother at all. Captain McDonald instructs us to be careful. It doesn't take long though before Ken's mom calls us and tells us to come home quickly because Linda's there, dressed as Santa. Her memory is slowly coming back, but not completely. She decides to join our party from here.
連れてって。
You gonna give me an ad running? Bet that up. Nigga, it's literally one ad for the moment you join the stream. That's it, bro. Literally. Like, you literally getting that one little ad, Capo. Relax.
ケン、あなたと私の思い出の場所を初めから歩いてみたいわ。
And if we visit a shed beside Ken's house, they'll find some drawings that Ken and Linda made together years ago.
なんか 思い出せそう。ちょっとやってみましょうよ。
Bro, yes? Nigga. Yes, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Shorty asked me, bad little bitch I grew up with from school, or from since childhood. Talking about some, hey, Ken, you in the fuck? Maybe it could help, me remember things. Yeah, I do. Very much, actually. Thank you for asking. Wait a minute. What? You don't look chopped. Because I'm not a chopped nigga. Bro, every time I'm in KJ Live, it be in some very, very odd times. Like, this nigga, I always got some shit to tell him when I'm looking fucked up. But I don't usually look fucked up to him. I promise. But nah, bro. If Shorty asked me, you trying to fuck? Yeah. Like, what is he talking about, bro?
そうそう。あの時。
Never mind. Take the bonnet off? It might be that. Bro. All I got under this bonnet is some little ass dreadlocks. My shit growing though. Give it time. Summer 2025. Summer 2025, bro. I'm gonna be right. Trust. Damn, you look the same. Yeah, tight shit. The fuck just happened?
でも私、今みたいに剣をぶったのよ。
Now we have nothing to do
That
but
shit
continue
would ruin
our
my whole
mission,
mood,
gathering
bruh.
species,
Oh, shit.
and trying to find things that will restore Linda to her old self. During one visit home, Ken's adoptive mother reveals that as a child, Ken told her
Sorry to tell you this, kid, but your mama a man. This bitch look more masculine than me.
that he and Linda
Look at them
left something
forearms,
important
my nigga.
in a park of a neighboring town called Ozport. So we head over there and discover that Ken and Linda have carved their names into a tree and drawn a heart around it. If the player keeps examining the tree, we find that Ken's name is carved onto the tree again with another girl's name. Linda's name also appears again with another man's name. Eventually, Linda sees two names that appear to be the name of Ken's father and Linda's mother, suggesting that they may in fact be brother and sister? Anyway, back then, Ken gave Linda a toy ring, and now she thinks it'll help her remember more if he does it again. We buy a ring, but it doesn't help. Then we get a voicemail from Linda's father, Hume, who says to come find him in the Junk Palace.
お、ケン、来てくれたか。久しぶりだな。覚えているか？リンダの親父のヒュームだよ。
He explains that on his way to visit Linda in Hospico, he saw her be
Bro, why does this nigga got like top of this nigga head look like a dick? Literally, bro. Nigga got a stitch in between his shit, bro. And the fucking brow above his eyebrows ain't helping him any better, bro. This nigga got some rosy red ass lips. And this nigga dead look like Mr. Popo if he was more human. Niggas don't even know who Mr. Popo is though. Let me show.
being kidnapped by Santa Claus, got attacked, and ended up in recovery.
愛し合う二人はいつも一緒。やっぱそれが何より幸せだって俺は思うぜ。
After being told to stick together and take care of each other, we get back to capturing animals until receiving this voicemail from Nick, saying to come to the abandoned town of Koshikata for a game.
もしもし、兄ちゃん。俺だよ、俺。
We find Nick at the top of the church, which is full of friendly wolves. Nick explains that this town was where their father abandoned them after murdering everybody. He challenges us to a game, saying that if we can reach the town exit without being torn apart by his dogs, we'll get a prize. He runs out, and we make our way down, but this time the wolves and dogs are trying to attack us.
This game, I ain't gonna lie, chat. This game might not like be the best because I'm not used to no like RPG style, or not even RPG, but like no point and click ass game. I'm not used to like shit like this. But bro, this could really be fire though. Like the story that I'm hearing, like just him explaining the story. I don't know if the story is as clear as he's making it seem explaining in this video. But if it is, this game dead seems fire as hell. I ain't gonna lie, this game look tough. It's like some retro shit.
Though barely managing to escape, Nick doesn't follow through with his promise, kidnapping Linda and ordering his dogs to pounce. Luckily, Linda's father Hume shows up and beats the dogs back for us.
Damn, dude. How the fuck could you do that?
Back in Hardia, we catch up with Captain MacDonald, who reminds Hume and the player that Linda's mom, Anne, Hume's wife, is still missing.
そういやヒュームあの失踪事件以来アンも行方不明
Hume doesn't seem too concerned and says that he always has Linda's mom close to heart, in his chest. Before leaving, Captain MacDonald gives us a radar that he's managed to connect to Neck's whereabouts somehow, so we use it and discover that Neck is on the Astro Arc with Linda, leading to a long sequence in which the player chases Neck down as he flees and crash lands the Arc in different locations of the world. Finally, we track him down in Eternia, where Neck is hiding out with Linda in the President's mansion. Hume and Ken split up to enter unnoticed, but the town and the mansion are abandoned. If we poke around in the basement of the mansion, we can see, however, that women have been locked up in cells, guarded by watchdogs. Soon, we find Elizabeth.
Why do all the women have blue hair though? Like, is he purposely catching women that look like Linda? I'm a little confused, but this is interesting.
Panheim, Ken, and Linda waiting for us in a secret laboratory where the bodies of young women are being preserved in vats of liquid. And during the next animated sequence, Neck reveals that Elizabeth and Panheim are his adoptive parents.
さあネック
Wait, so that's Panheim bitch. Okay, it makes sense that he under the table eating the box. Am I the type of nigga that would be under the table eating my bitch box, personally? Probably not. That's just because I wouldn't want to be under the table. It's not the eating the pussy part. You feel me? I'm talking to my phone.
あまりお兄さんをお待たせしちゃいけないよさっさと済ませなさい
分かってるよママ、あママほらあそこ兄ちゃんを迎えに天使が来てるよ
もうネクったら冗談ばっかり
ほんとだってばほら見て見て
まったくもう何どこにいるって
ほらそここの真上
何にも見えないよ
ごめんよママリンダをあんたには渡せないでも天使は見えただろさーてお立ち会いここからがマジックショーの本番だぜいいかいワン、ツー、スリーこれがこの女の正体さ自分の若さを保つために50年もの間ビースちゃんの若い女の体液をすすり続け
Whoa, hold up. This is getting heavy. So the mama was actually not a bad bitch. That's why she was dating the old nigga. I was like, damn, is she like, why she dating this old nigga? Just because he willing to eat the box. But the nigga eating the box because she actually an old bitch. And she was using the power of Beastian woman, or Beast woman, I guess, to restore her youth, which is why she had so much women captured in the basement. I was thinking, I don't know why Neck did that though. Why did Neck do that? Why did he just randomly kill his mom? Maybe he's just some heartless ass nigga. But this is fire.
てきた妖怪ださてと次は兄ちゃんの番だ
In a shocking twist, Neck murders Elizabeth, revealing that she's in fact an old woman who's been drinking the blood of young women to stay beautiful forever. Panheim lingers in shock at his dead lover as we chase Neck and Linda, where Neck reveals each step of the way the reason for his actions. That Elizabeth, his adoptive mother, stopped him from going to school so that he could dig up corpses for her to stay young. Eventually, it was easier for him to simply become a serial killer than to keep digging up dead bodies for her to eat. Neck resents Ken for having a better life than him, and so he plans to steal Ken's future by kidnapping Linda and flying into space with her on the Astral Arc.
どうだいこのドレス。俺が見立ててやったんだ。なかなかのもんだろ。ところがリンダのやつ、俺が何か買ってやるたびにこういうのさ。似合うケン。ありがとうケン。愛してるわケン。ケン、ケン、ケン、ケン、ケン。だから俺はケン。今日からあんたになるのさ。なあ兄ちゃん、俺たちの母さんもこんないい匂いがしたのかな。
They begin to fight when suddenly a masked Santa Claus intervenes and murders him.
あれ？おい、間違えんなよ。俺はネクだよ。わかってるやって。
How is this nigga so chill? Like, I know he's fucking insane, but no nigga's getting stabbed through the fucking spinal cord to the front of his chest and midsection and just saying, yo, wait, you stabbing the wrong person, man. Oh, wait, you doing it on purpose. Nigga, why are you okay with this? Why are you just taking this like it's casual? But bro, I really hope this has an anime. It most likely doesn't, because I searched it up yesterday, or well, technically in the same video, earlier in the video, but bro, this fire. I actually hope it has an anime. I might get an emulator just to play this shit when I get my money up, of course.
ってのがなんでだよ。リンダは俺にくれるっつったじゃねえか。リンダまであの人みたいにする気かよ。
How is this nigga still alive? You got stabbed like 3 times and lifted up with the 3rd one. Nigga, just die, bro. Just die, my nigga. Why the hell did the category not change?
焦るか。兄ちゃん、早くリンダを連れて逃げるんだ。
お前は完全に包囲されている。無駄な抵抗はやめろ。
これみんな俺の血か。これじゃ助かりっこねえよ。動物をさ、キーワードは簡単さ。兄ちゃんは死んでも言わない。だけどリンダはその言葉を死ぬほど聞きたがっている。わかるだろう。俺が代わりに言うつもりだったのにうまくいかねえな。
お前当てがあるなら思いつくだけ
I
言って
love
みろ。
you? Linda, I love you? That's what you gotta say?
リンダ、世界中で一番お前が好きだ。
そう。
That anime ass shit, bruh. Bitch was under mind control. All she had to do was get said, yo, bitch, I love you. And give her a kiss. Really, my nigga? Really, my nigga? If it was that easy to get out of mind control, then shit. It's crazy. It turns out Neck really did like her the whole time, though. Like, I thought he was just a little insane and doing that just to spite him, but nah, he actually liked her.
起きなすったか。
Oh, so she's just a tsundere.
窒息するかと思った。あれ？
気分はどうだ。
みんなずっと見てた？
In Hardy again, Panheim is in jail, and Linda and Ken can get back to getting the Astra arc ready. Before we head out, if we visit Panheim, he explains that he and Elizabeth were young lovers, but she was obsessed with her appearance, and started the pharmaceutical company in the hope of inventing a drug that would keep her young. Panheim helped, but discovered eventually that the only ingredient that could do this was human flesh and blood. Things seem to be settling down, except for the mystery of Neck's masked killer, the disappearance of Linda's father Hume, and her mother, Anne. Captain MacDonald now reveals that the radar we used earlier to find Neck also works on Hume, so we use the radar and see that he's in the most distant location on the world map, which must be accessed through this complicated cave system full of sulfuric acid. Once on the other side, we find an old factory being run by robots, but Linda is reluctant to enter because her memories are finally returning and she remembers who it was that kidnapped her and her mother Anne, and it wasn't Neck. But Linda quickly joins back up with us, and sure enough, Hume is waiting, revealing himself as the masked Santa who killed Neck. This is the first and only boss fight of Scenario A, and it's tough. After a quick preliminary fight,
Wait, so that's the dad. But wasn't the dad, since the dad's name is Human, by the way. But if this is the dad, I already kind of figured since the nigga buff and tall as shit. And you just kind of like, he wasn't dead. He wasn't confirmed dead. But why was he trying to kill Linda too? Because after he killed Nick, he was trying to kill Linda.
Hume rips open his shirt and shows us that Linda's mother, Anne, has been sewn into his chest.
What? Somebody fucking combined her parents, bro. They're so out of pocket.
さて次はママだ。あれママはどこだ。アンいないのか。アンママは行方不明か。すまないなリンダ。パパが会所なしだからママに逃げられてしまったよ。あれこんなところにいたのか。愛し合う二人はいつも一緒。そいつが何よりだ。そうだろアン。
早く逃げるのよ、二人とも。ヒュームには勝てない。
うるせんだよこのアマは。ああ誰だ。俺の案をこんな目にひどいよ。血が出てるよ。死ぬな。
Who did this?
誰だ。誰がやった。お前らだな。よくも俺の案をぶち殺してやる。
Struggling with the fear that Anne may not love him and the anxiety that Linda is not his biological daughter, he sewed Anne into his chest. And because Ken and Linda just attacked him, Anne is bleeding and dying.
No way he just did that shit.
With both of my dogs being dead, the only way I was able to survive was by morphing Ken and Linda into animals with a high defense and then constantly using buffs like Lick to grant myself high speed and extra turns, and Ken's stinky fart debuff, which causes Hume to vomit and lose attack power. Eventually, we succeed, and Hume regrets his actions. Approaching a vat of green acid, Hume tells Linda that he loves her after all, even if they do have different skin color, and leaps to his death.
Wait, so this nigga didn't know she wasn't his daughter? I was kind of confused too. But does that mean the mom cheated or that she just had the baby before she got with him? Like, I'm like, damn, this bitch white and you black, so why she not mixed? So I guess we don't know.
リンダと俺の肌の色が違っても、俺はリンダのことも愛してた。本当さ。なあ、ケン。リンダはいい子だろう。本当にいい子だ。
Nigga, this is traumatizing.
やっぱり俺の子だよな。
That little girl is traumatized because you sold her mom into your body and then killed yourself. You yelling about for your dad like that, as if he didn't just okay. You know what? Bitch fell Chinese.
ねえ、ケンは私のそばにずっと一緒にいてくれるよね。
Not if you keep hitting me like that, bitch.
私を置いてどっかに行っちゃったりしないよね。ねえ、ケン。
ああ、ずっと一緒だ。約束する。
Why is Ken so okay with this whole situation? Nigga, didn't you grow up with her and her parents? Like, why are you not more bothered by this?
If we make a last visit to Panheim, we find that he's committed suicide, writing "Love Forever" on the wall in his own blood.
This game out of pocket.
From here, the player is free to continue collecting animals until the arrival of the meteoroid, or if they already have enough animals, we can board the Ark, climb into the cockpit, and blast off into space.
どうやらこのボタンで発信するみたいね。押していい？本当にいいのね？怖かったら私の手を握っててもいいわよ。じゃあ行くわよ。スイッチオン。
Where are they going with the animals though? Y'all know y'all just gonna die if y'all go to the sun, right?
目を覚ませ。目を覚ませ。
なんだ今の声は。
甲板へ出て外を見ろ。
I listen to that nigga.
バカ、やめとけよ。空気が。
大丈夫。見て。
死神が。
ネオケニアは今死んだ。現在 AMD1999 7月31日、船はこれより時間を飛ぶ。
時間を？
しっかり捕まってろ。レディーゴー。
なんなんだこの船は。
ネオケニアの復活はその死から2647万21日後。そこが行き先だ。目をそらすな。お前たちの目指す世界はいつもそこにある。
Earth. So they weren't even on Earth. They were on a different version called Neo Kenya.
この星はネオケニアじゃないのか。あれは死神に削り取られた地殻が引き合って新しい
月？まさかこの星は。
As we leave the planet, Ken and Linda watch as the meteorite collides into Neo Kenya. A voice then speaks to them from the stars that time will be moving forward, and we surge ahead into the future, watching the rocks of the meteorite hanging around in the atmosphere and beginning to form a moon, as Linda slowly realizes that Neo Kenya is actually
Earth.
One summer, I was traveling and visited an ancient city by a long green river. An old man sitting by the river was selling keychains on the sun-baked ground, and as I bent down to have a closer look at them, which from afar had appeared to be normal key rings attached to plastic bubbles filled with blue, green, or yellow liquid, I saw in fact that they contained small living baby turtles taken up from the river. I picked one up, placed it on my palm, and watched one turtle swimming in vain and searching with its thin neck the corners of the pouch for an escape. I wanted to buy it and release it. I wanted to buy all of them, cut them open, and pour the turtles back into the river, into freedom. But I didn't. I knew that the man selling them would have only used this as encouragement to make a dozen more. He would have used my money to make more keychains, more plastic bubbles, and gone with his net into the shallow river to catch more turtles, or simply gone to where the turtles lay eggs and scooped them up by handfuls. Humans have both the ability to cause and end suffering, but the difference between them is not always clear. At the end of Linda Cubed, the destroyed planet of Neo Kenya appears to be the final cycle of a dying Earth. As the cycle begins again, so does the tumultuous history of animals living there. The animals of Neo Kenya have been saved, but for what? Apparently so that they can repopulate the Earth with a new generation of living and dying creatures, and the suffering that goes along with it. What's the point of being alive if, as the Buddhists say, to live is to suffer, and to save lives means to preserve suffering? In Christianity, however, humans suffer for the sake of redemption after death. But what redemption do animals have for their suffering? In nature, if there is no God, suffering is pointless. But in a world with God, suffering is created and intentional. A punishment for the actions of the first male and female, Adam and Eve, or Ken and Linda, who are to repopulate this Neo-Earth. Non-human animals, however, get caught up in God's punishment of humans, which makes their suffering pointless anyway. That night in my hotel, I couldn't get the image of the turtle out of my head, in the plastic keychain, on the palm of my hand, unaware of my presence, and swimming in a confused struggle to get out. Maybe, I thought, I should have saved just one, or maybe two. A male and a female. Wasn't it enough to do the least I could to end the suffering of one or two animals at one moment in time? Wasn't saving a few lives worth it, even if saving them meant the continuation of suffering for others into the future? In the other scenarios of Linda Cubed, the events of the story are different. The player's actions remain roughly the same, and so does the outcome. In scenario B, called Happy Child, Ken and Linda are getting married, but their wedding night is disrupted.
Hold up, bro. Cause there was something about this cover art.
Remain roughly the same, and so does the outcome. In scenario B, called Happy Child,
Like when I seen this cover art with the black dude like, and the blue hat in front of her, I thought this dude was like molesting her or taking advantage of her. I'm not gonna lie, but learning the truth behind this picture makes it far worse. I'm not gonna hold you.
Ken and Linda are getting married, but their wedding night is disrupted by insect-like soldiers who murder Linda's parents and cut off Linda's arm. Scenario C, called Astro Arc, requires players to catch 100 species of animals. The world is mostly entirely unrestricted and has few story sequences, but Scenario C is a self-parody, full of easy, happy endings. The human characters manage to handle their flaws, and don't drag each other down into mutual tragedy. In my opinion, Linda Cubed utilizes a mode of storytelling that I recognize as defamiliarization, which is accomplished by depicting a world and a society that's as familiar as it is bizarre. The strange and exploitative relationship of humans with animals is uncomfortable because it runs adjacent to our own reality. In other parts of Neo Kenya, it's Christmas every day. People worship Santa instead of Jesus. Your bag gets filled up with rotten meat, animal feces, and dead flowers. Linda Cubed is strange, but its strangeness didn't emerge in a vacuum. It emerged out of a 90s artistic movement in which there were numerous works of media depicting lonely, isolated individuals, many of whom were deeply uncomfortable with their lives and confused by their places in the world. The end of the millennium was approaching, Particularly in Japan, people had trouble connecting with each other, and a deep-seated anxiety toward the quickly changing world had permeated the culture. But there was no apparent escape, no exit door from the modern world, as it propelled us headfirst and at high speed into an unfamiliar future. A feeling began to develop of living in a high-tech horror house on a grotesque carnival ride, going round and round and never stopping. Sometimes a person can experience a prolonged feeling of culture shock toward their own culture. Defamiliarization as an artistic technique captures the feeling of losing one's sense of place in the world, when things that once looked normal start to look alien, as when a repeated word loses its meaning. It's a technique used extensively by artists across time, from Franz Kafka to Haruki Murakami, and, I think, by Masuda, who captured in Linda Cubed a generation's anxiety about an increasingly unrecognizable world.
I ain't gonna lie, this nigga deserves a like, a subscription. This was cinema. I'm not gonna lie, bro. Make sure y'all give that nigga Gnosis, Genesis, or however you say it. Make sure y'all give this nigga a subscription, bro. 20.3k subscribers. I got less. So I'm by far not the nigga that should be telling y'all to follow this nigga. But bro, this video was heat. He deserves so much more love. But thank y'all boys and girls for watching this reaction video. Might have took 2 days, but it still happened. So it's been your boy Pateks, aka Peace, aka Cal. And until next time, y'all.